Hello everybody, welcome to the Shnews. This is your shoe news update. We've got a few things to chat about today. There have been a couple of recent stories that have cropped up, as well as a few new sneakers that have been announced, as well as a few little movements in permutation. So let's quickly start things off by talking about the Air Max 95 Neons. Now these are set to go down on the 4th of April, merely days away. And so if you guys weren't already hip to some of the local raffles going down in your area, this right here is a very pithy list. I don't think these are all the retailers. These especially aren't all of the retailers in the UK at least that have raffles up for these. There are also raffles available on Foot Patrol, as well as Size, as well as End, as well as probably Offspring. So the general vibe that I'm getting is that the 4th of April is going to be the retailers release, which is going to include a whole bunch of celebratory, commemorative type installations, activations, content, all that type of stuff. And then on the 18th, we're going to have the sneakers app release. Again, I'm hearing that the release is going to be limited, and then the rumor is there's going to be a GR of these sometime next year. Now, I wanted to bring to your guys' attention a really cool video that I saw with respect to the whole Air Max 95 Neon release. This has come up on Blue Room's Instagram, which is, I think, a vintage store in Tokyo, Japan, or something like that. And these guys have been the first place to offer up the Air Max 95s for retail. And they've got like this little hidden camera set up in their shop floor boutique. And you can see people coming in off the streets and they're looking at these Air Max 95s like, hey, are these legit? Is this the real thing? And some people are asking, is this a new pair or something like that? And this is at sort of 1:30 in the afternoon. And as people are coming in, they're trying them on, they're getting excited, they're taking pictures. And then as the day unfolds, obviously the word starts getting out that the store have the Air Max 95 Neons for sale. And so as the day progresses, more and more people start rocking up. There ends up being a huge line, and then before you know it, the shoes are sold out by the end of the day. And the whole day was captured on camera to really good effect with this video that was on Blue Room's Instagram. So very cool video for sure, and a very exciting release upcoming. We've also had some retailer images which have these looking really dope in my opinion. So unlike the last time these retroed, where it was very much all about the OG collectors and the 95 heads, this particular release seems to have captured a lot more people's imaginations, a little bit like the 85 breads. Crocs have fired some shots at Nike over their recently released Rejuvenate shoe. This is really taking the entire, not even just sneakerhead fraternity by storm. This is taking a lot of people by storm. This whole shoe, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I have been living in my pair since copying these. These are honestly the bee's knees. I've never had a pair of shoes I was so ready to just slip into. And I guess the wave hasn't gone unnoticed by Crocs, who in a little bit of a salty post, or maybe in a little bit of a shots fired post, decided to post this video on their stories, which shows someone holding a pair of the Rejuvenates and then doing a little bit of a double take, going back and forth between the Crocs and then the Rejuvenates, as if to say like, what's going on here? They have this caption, "We're living rent-free in your head, huh, Nike?" Obviously a little bit of playful banter, but I don't know who's living in whose head here. If anyone's living rent-free in anyone's head right now, it seems to be the other way around. At least that's what I'm reading here. A lot of the people commenting on all of the various posts that have been posted up by different sneaker accounts have been saying the same type of thing, and that is that Nike kind of did it better. Like, these things are genuinely comfy. They're always in sport mode, meaning they're not going to go flying off. They just have a slightly less fugly aesthetic about them. Now, obviously Crocs did it first. No one's going to argue that. Yeezy came along and popularized it, and these Nike shoes are kind of like a fusion between a Croc and a foam runner. But I don't know, man. I feel like the motion is with the Rejuvenates right now, and this message from Crocs, whilst playful and interesting, kind of has had the reverse effect, at least according to me. What do you guys think about that? Right, so coming up on April the 5th is a collaboration between Adidas and Bape. And these two have a long storied history of really successful collaborations, although you might argue that these collabs in this modern era don't quite hit the same as the collabs of old. You've got two different colorways of the Superstar. You've got a white colorway and then you've got a blue colorway. You've also got a series of different clothing items. Right, we've got a few interesting Air Jordan 4 updates to talk about. First and foremost, the Air Jordan 4 Nigel Sylvester Brick by Brick collaboration is set to continue on with one, maybe two more colorways in the pipelines. The first of which I want to talk about is this fire red or sail colorway that has been quote unquote confirmed to release later on in the year. Quote unquote confirmed in very bold quotation marks. I don't know if these are going to come off. I mean, we know these exist because we saw these on the feet of a few models during the Nigel Sylvester fashion show earlier on in the year, where the whole clothing apparel line as well as the brick by brick orange pair were showcased and wheeled out. So we know these exist. There was speculation that maybe that was just a friends and family pair or a Nigel exclusive type pair, not a release pair, but you can see they pretty much follow the same type of pattern as the orange pair that we've got with the rough suede material around the mudguard. That's the latest rumor with that particular pair. And then there's this other pair floating around which is in this crazy blue hue, and these look nuts, man. I mean, some people out there are saying these really should have come out as a pack, you know, the bricks, and then, bro, I don't even know what you would call these, man. These are crazy. The next rumor I'm hearing is gonna be a rumor that's gonna be music to a lot of your guys' ears out there, and it's surrounding one of the best retros of the year, the shoe that a lot of people are looking forward to the most, the Air Jordan 4 White Cements. So the release dates that I'm seeing is May the 24th, and these are apparently going to be a GR, big general release with very high stock. So does that mean they're inevitably going to be an easy cop and they're going to sit? I don't think so. I think the demand for this pair is still going to be really high because, you know, it's one of the best, if not the best, Jordan 4 colorways of all time. But the fact that these are set to be a GR and they're set to be big in numbers is at least comforting in the sense that we won't have to worry about crazy resale if they do sell out, and your chances of copying for retail should be pretty good. So that is good news. I've had some super clean looks at probably the most super clean Jordan 3 of all time, the Pure Moneys. Man, these are looking good. Set to release on July the 5th. Nice looking materials, very clean, very crispy, silver Jumpman on the tongue and on the heel. Nice elephant tint on the laces. Elephant print is looking good. Updated shape is looking fire. A little bit like the Black Cat 3s. These are going to be one of those nostalgic retros that people will be no doubt interested in. And I think according to these images, man, these are looking superb. First look at the Jordan 12 French Blue, which is set to come back next year. And this is the first time this sneaker will have retroed in pretty close to a decade. These last came out same year as the last Flu Game retro, I think, in 2016. And this, for a lot of people, is one of those absolutely classic Air Jordan 12s, really strong, really popular colorway. The materials on this particular pair are looking good. I'm liking the look of the leather on the upper. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those colorways you can't really go wrong. So we've had some updates to the Air Jordan 1 Rare Air sneaker that's dropping this Saturday. It comes with this hidden feature, or this feature that up until now had been going under the radar, and it's the fact that the swoosh scratches off to reveal a hidden red underlay, which is kind of cool and sort of adds to the multiplicity of references that this shoe is donning. I mean, what is this shoe? Is this a rip-off Union? Is this a rip-off 85? Is this your plain old retro? Is it a rip-off Nigel Sylvester? Like, this particular sneaker is hitting on different themes from different collaborations right across the board, to the point where it pretty much works. Right, I'm not sure if this is an April Fool's or not, because you know how all the sneaker pages are running crazy stories for April Fool's Day. This is on Sneaker News, could be a thing, I don't know, make up your own minds, but this is apparently a picture of Eric Costin supposedly wear testing or skate testing an early sample of the Air Force One Low SB. And we've seen them do it with the Air Max 95, which is, you know, coming to pass. Those shoes are a thing. And obviously if these are being wear tested, they are in the developmental stages, so they will essentially become a thing. Now, I don't want to rag on these because I'm not a skater. If you're a good skater, you can skate in any shoe. It doesn't really matter. The Air Force One never really gave me skater vibes. They always felt like they were a little bit chunky, a little bit raised on the platform, maybe a little bit heavy as well. So depending on how they tool these up, they could be made into an effective skate shoe, but I guess the tooling that they might end up imparting onto the Air Force One is essentially just going to turn the Air Force One low into a dunk, I'm guessing. I don't know. Let's see what happens. These are apparently going to be a thing unless this is April Fool's cap. I've had some really good looks at another upcoming Air Jordan 4 set for the summertime, albeit the back end of summer, August the 9th. These are supposed to be coming out. These are the denim Air Jordan 4s. They're in really good resolution, these images, and they show a combination of your darker blue denim and your lighter blue denim from bottom to the top. They come with a little debray saying family on them. They've got a white midsole and what looks to be a dark gum sole on the bottom. Nice white liner. They look clean, man. You guys might have seen this picture doing the rounds, and it definitely gives a little bit of pain energy because this dude or this lady's dog went to town chewing up the heel tab of bro's bike airs. Some people have been commenting the bite airs. Yeah, I mean, you can't be mad at the dog. If you guys have dogs or you've had a dog in the past, you'll know that when they're pups or if they're a certain way inclined, if you leave a shoe lying around, they're gonna grab it, they're gonna chew on it, and they are gonna destroy it. So you can't hate on dog for doing this, but yeah, this is pretty gutting. I've had this happen to me actually with one of my dogs when she was a puppy. She ruined a couple of pairs of my sneakers to the point where they're actually still just lying around the house. They've become toys for her now. Detailed looks at the Air Jordan 4 Rare Air. Just a reminder, these are set to drop on the 26th of July this year, $225. The color blocking on this sneaker is very clean. It's very simple and it's very reminiscent of the black cements. As we know, I feel like this is probably going to be one of those types of sleeper releases that could end up being really hype when they drop, if they decide to make them crazy limited, which I think they might do. Right, so the last Jordan 4 update is a little bit of an exciting one. Firstly, we've had some good looks at the undefeated Air Jordan 4s, which is arguably the most anticipated sneaker of all of them yet to come out this year. We've had some good images which have them looking nice. The quality looks good, the shade of green looks good. This person's sole speed seems to be pretty on point with the images. And the latest update is that the Nike Air version of this sneaker is going to be the more widely available release, and the Jumpman pair is going to be the more exclusive release. And I think a lot of people out there are quite relieved to hear this because a lot of people are more into the Nike Air on the back compared to the Jumpman. But obviously the Jumpman on the back is going to be more reminiscent of the original retro. So if you like this shoe for it being in its original form, the Jumpman is going to be important. If you're not too fast and you just like the classic Nike Air on the back, like what came with the OGs, then the retro with the Nike Air on the back is going to be preferable. But yeah, I would imagine the Jumpman is probably going to be the undefeated exclusive type release, very limited in numbers and a higher resale price point. The Nike Air pairs, yeah, hopefully they're going to be larger numbers so we can all get a chance to cop these. But I would imagine they're going to make this quite limited regardless. But yeah, that's good news, I think. I've had some official images of the Nike Air Max 180 collaboration with Pan Records. I'm not sure what it is about Nike this year deciding to give the Air Max 180 to record companies to mess with. But hey, look, I'm not mad. I think it's cool to see these types of collaborations go down. And this particular colorway, man, it's pretty simple, pretty basic. I mean, these are pretty much stripped back entirely on branding and coloring in favor of texture, tone, and storytelling. They've got a crinkled matte black upper, which gives this shoe a bit more of a worn-in type look. Got a semi-translucent glaze overlay on the upper, which lends this surreal, distorted sheen about it. The air unit, lining, and sole are all completely blacked out, giving it this mad, murdered out, stealthy aesthetic. These are actually set to drop very soon on the 12th of this month. Right, so let's quickly recap this week's releases because there's one or two little cheeky updates to bring you guys up to speed with if you haven't already cottoned on to this info. The first is regarding the Action Bronson New Balance 990 V6, the quote-unquote untitled colorway, which I think is the white red and blue with a little splash of pink colorway. These are set to release on April the 5th via his microsites, which is the specializinginlife.com. New Balance is following at a later date. I think it was around the 25th off the top of my head. And the retail is $220. Right, so other sneaker releases that you might want to keep an eye out for this week. And some of these I haven't even mentioned in my top sneaker releases for April to bear in mind. You have the Marni and Hoka collaboration on the Bondi Bells collection. On Saturday, you've got the Bathing Ape Adidas Superstars that we spoke about earlier on in the episode in the white and the blue colorway. And you also have the Jordan 1 Deep Royal, the Rare Air collection. And then on the 4th, we have the release so far of the month, for a lot of people the year, the Air Max 95 Neons. There are still raffles out there available to go into right now. If you haven't already jumped in them, get in them now. On the same day, you also have the Slawn Air Max 90. So yeah, we're just first week of April and already there are some bangers dropping. So yeah, that about wraps it up for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel. If you want to help me out a little bit more, become a member of the channel, go over and give me a follow over on IG, and enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care for now and peace.